Dr. Hartwich, Dr. Bess, Honourable Minister, Sir Mark, and guests. Good evening, I'm Bob Gutsell, Vice President of the New Zealand Sport Fishing Council. I'm proud of the contribution our Council has made over the many years, consistent professional engagement and participation in almost all fisheries management processes. I'd like to start by being very clear that the New Zealand Sport Fishing Council does not support any of the recommendations in this report, particularly around proportional allocation. Be it fixed or fixable, represents a huge risk for the interests of the public and non-commercial fishers in New Zealand. The risk is underrepresented in the report with references to some sort of flexible proportional allocation. The Minister's discretion serves our interests better than any sort of proportional or formulaic allocation. The Minister is a paid public servant charged with administering the Fisheries Act, and his decisions are adjudicated through the ballot box. This is the proper democratic process. The substantive change the report calls for is to remove the Minister's discretion in setting the catch share. This discretion is unfettered, providing he or she is reasonable. In other words, it is the role of the Minister to change proportions if needed to the prosecution of fish stocks in the national interest while having regard for future generations. This works well for us. An example of this is the Snapper 1 decision in 2013. In 2013, the Minister provided the Minister with a range of potential options for future management of Snapper 1, including both proportional and non-proportional options. Based on NIWA's analysis produced for MPI, a proportional decision would have meant a daily bag limit reduced from 9 to 4 per person at 30 centimetre length. The Minister used his discretion in that instance to reduce the catch to 7 per person and increase the limit to 30 centimetres, while granting a 5 to 100 tonne increase to the recreational allowance. That's an example of what works well when the Minister is allowed to use his discretion. A peak body, in our opinion, presents a new level of expensive bureaucracy that is unlikely to deliver material benefit for either the Minister or recreational fishers. It just creates another level with which to work through. Recreational fishers already pay over $188 million per annum in taxes to the government to act as stewards of a public resource. Assigning that stewardship to a commercial, iwi and non-governmental body amounts to privatisation of our fishery, in our opinion. Why should we fund a peak body for something the government was already paid to do? Dr. Bess states in the report argues that the sharp discrepancy between the management of recreational and commercial fisheries has been driven by funding differences. The management of commercial fisheries is largely funded on a cost recovery basis by quota holders, while recreational fishers have generally been unwilling to contribute towards managing recreational fisheries. This could not be further from the truth, we argue. There is no shortage of funds to participate in management, and the NZSFC, the Sport Fishing Council, has an increasing budget year on year to meet our management participation needs. I'd like to now take a minute or two to discuss the economy of recreational fishing, an aspect of it anyway. More than 600,000 of us go fishing each year. We've documented that. Dr. Bess refers to that in his report. We catch about 10 million kilos of fish and shellfish per annum, of course, subject to weather and abundance. We spend about $1 billion participating, contributing to an economy of $1.5 billion per annum of economic activity. We pay taxes, approximately $135 million in GST, $35 million in PAYE, resulting from the 8,000 jobs associated with recreational fishing. And that we generate another $10 million of unallocated user charges on petrol for fueling our outboards. This is almost $20 tax for each kilogram of fish we take home. Some might say that we are irrational or wasteful. However, no one can say we're not pulling our weight. The policies of the New Zealand Sportfishing Council are not only endorsed by its 34,000 members, but organisations such as Yachting New Zealand, New Zealand Underwater, New Zealand Angling and Casting, and several other businesses that have lent their support through partnership and sponsorship contributions. These are a rapidly growing number of people and organisations aligning with the work and processes of the New Zealand Sportfishing Council. We are grateful for their endorsement and financial support. We have our own policy, our own plan. We have a 5-point manifesto that we have, what we argue, is where we would like to see the Minister start in returning our fishery to increased abundance for everybody. We ask the Minister to establish a commission of inquiry into fisheries management practices and the commission quota management system. We also ask the Minister to amend the Fisheries Act 1996 to include allocation principles. We've asked the Minister to remove industrial fishing, such methods such as trawling, seining and dredging from the inshore zone. We've asked the Minister to establish a separate well-resourced Ministry of Fisheries. Finally, we've asked him to amend Section 13 of the Fisheries Act 1996 to replace the minimum stock target of BMSY with a minimum biomass target of 50% of the unfished stock size. We thank the Minister and the Government for being well on the way for implementing Part Point 4 of this plan. And we seek your support with the remaining 4 points for restoring our fishery. We strongly urge you to put alongside any suggestion of managing the fishes and focus on governance to restore our fisheries to abundance that once existed. Thank you for this opportunity to speak.